what do you think about we got a good conversation between Romeo and Hai
Mm,
where and Brice, I was we were watching it together and I was seeing how you were receiving that conversation because and I'm gonna let you speak about it more than me, but just to see how Romeo is this person. He's from South Central LA, and he had to like hide part of himself from some of his family. And then you have this guy like Hai who is living out um and Brice, I think we've had this conversation about other people in the
1,000%.
LGBTQ community where sometimes you have kind of like been a little bit more inward or reserved, and you'd see someone else and be like, man, they're just living who they are and they wear it on their sleeve no matter where they go. So
Yeah,
yeah.
this conversation between Hai and Romeo 1,000% resonated with me because I feel like there are some people that meet me and they're like, "Oh, you're this bubbly, openly gay black man," and that I am that. However, in every situation of my life, I am not that. I am a black man from Philadelphia that comes from a black family that is not always accepting of the LGBTQ plus community. And so there were many times in my life that I felt like I was a Romeo, where although maybe to other people, oh, he's gay, it's easy for us to tell, but there is something that is to be said that when you have to come that decision to say, I'm going to live my life authentically, I am going to be the person that I know I am, it's scary. And to just see that vulnerability in this conversation with two queer men of color and somebody that maybe is a little more comfortable or has gone through more experiences lending a shoulder to another queer person of color, which we don't see at all, let alone on Survivor, truly brought me to tears. I just was like, when we were fighting for diversity and we wanted more people of color, I may have been one of the only people in that meeting with Jeff and the producers to talk about diversity within the LGBTQ plus community. And I would be remiss if I did not say that as we were gearing up for the conversation to have with CBS, there were other Survivor alum that told me to be quiet. To told me, like literally, like told me to be quiet and say, like, you are black. This is the issue. And with intersectionality, I'm not just black. I am a black gay man, and I can stand for multiple fronts. And just to see this issue and to see this conversation play out in a way that I don't know if I've ever seen on television before, of just another queer person and of color lifting another person up, and for Romeo just to be so open with his struggle, because it is the struggle of so many of us that it's like, yes, to the world we might be queer and you think that it's honky-dory, but there is another thing to accept it, and there is another layer to living your truth. It's scary, and I don't have the answers. And so many people look to me like, oh, you're such a pillar, and I'm honored. But like, I am you. I am just figuring it out. There are times in many situations that Jack and Wendell both know. I walk into situations and I'm like, I don't feel comfortable. I don't think I'm going to be accepted. And it is with the allyship that I have with the many of people that continue to pour into me and just show me love. And so just seeing that on that episode, like, and I'm not trying to cry, but like, it really was just like something that I never thought that I would see on television. And it's just something that like really resonated with me. And there are so many times in life where like we need a high, like it doesn't matter like what we are, like where, whatever you are, whatever you identify with, there are times that you need a high. And the way that High represented himself and represented and just show love and support to Romeo was just, for me, outstanding. And it just brings me to you, Evvie. When I talk about season 41 and the representation that you brought to the screen as you know, you went out there and you were yourself, but after the promo came out, you identified as non-binary. And of course, this is such a hot topic in the world today. And just to see you on Survivor thriving, let alone make the merge, something that I could not do. And when you won those immunity challenges, like when I tell you, I was on Twitter, like yes, how, like we've never seen Ricard, Evvie, like that, like we are queer and we are here, and I just am honored to be able to have a platform that you feel comfortable enough to come on. And I know I keep talking, but I'm just saying, like, this conversation is just so important. And so I'm so curious to know, like, what your thoughts of seeing this conversation as being another queer person like myself.
Like, I just want to start by just like thanking you so much for just like existing and being you and being, I feel like you're so open about yourself and about your struggles and how hard it is to be vulnerable and all that. And I think it's like really amazing and important to like have you say that and people like Romeo say that. And like, I think, you know, yeah, when you go on TV and you're like, okay, I'm going to wear this identity. Of course you want to wear it as proudly as possible and, you know, represent, but like, it's sometimes for someone at home is watching that and isn't there yet, right? Isn't out in their community to anyone they know. They might look at you and think like, wow, that's so awesome for them. And like, I'm so glad that exists, but like, how do I possibly get from where I am to where they are, you know? And to see people talking about like, even for Romeo, who's freaking on TV right now, being open about his queerness, it's hard for him still, you know, and you can like be someone who it's hard for you now. And like, maybe one day you'll get to the point that you're more open about it, you know, and like, we all have those struggles, and identity isn't easy. And like the thing that about the diversity casting that I really want to thank both of you. Like, I know that was a huge thing that you worked on, and like, it is so different to be the one person who's the thing and not the only person. And I think, you know, especially for people, you know, people who live their whole lives as like white, straight, cis people, like just are used to walking in rooms and having people look like them. And, you know, and that's implied. And like, you know, yeah, I am at a point now where I'm so like, I really am so confident in myself and my identity. And like, even still, like this past summer, I was with my family at this like resort in Cape Cod. And I was like, I was feeling my non-binary self so hard. Like I'm rocking like tomboy, like swim trunks and like a button-up shirt. And I'm like feeling like I'm looking like so hot, so like feeling my non-binary self, you know?
Come on, snack.
And, you know, feeling good. And then I get outside and it's like, this is the straightest crowd I've ever, like I've been a part of in so long. And I felt like really self-conscious all of a sudden, even though I'm like, was feeling myself so hard. And it was just like, wow, I'm the only visibly queer person in this entire place, you know? And it really like, it shook me, you know? And it is really freaking hard to be, whatever your identity is, to be the only person in the room that has that identity is 1,000 times harder, you know? So it's so freaking awesome to have both of them there and having that conversation. Like, it was amazing.